So Jacob, what would it look like if we were going to give like a MMO RPG type of quest to our players? And can you define what an MMO RPG is?
So an MMORPG is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Okay, and what are some examples of that?
The most prominent one would be World of Warcraft or WoW.
World of Warcraft, yep, the
Older,
staple.
before then you would have RuneScape.
Yep.
More modern, you would have like your Lord of the Rings Online, your Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Right, okay.
Your Forsaken World, your Perfect World.
Cool.
There's just several.
All right, and then the advantage of those games is that you're playing with like 20 to 30,000 people or something like that. I mean, to be fair. Okay, and then what are some example of quests in an MMORPG?
So your standard quests break down into a handful of things.
Okay.
You have your fetch quests where you're grabbing something for someone.
Okay, so I need 5 turnips for no reason, or I need 17,
Yes.
whatever. Or some of the ones that are like we're in The Witcher, not an MMORPG,
Yes.
but my friend is missing, and then you go and figure out his friend is dead, and you bring back something like the friend's diary
Yep.
that then that person can
Or
get closure on it.
That could also go to a second type of quest, of an escort quest.
If the person's still alive,
You have to bring them out safely.
to bring them out safely. Okay,
Yes.
great. Perfect.
Then, really, that's...
Well, you got the raids.
You have raids.
You have a raid quest, and a raid would be where you and a bunch of your players have to get together to fight a big
Something.
fight.
It's killing something.
Right, and so that might be like standard D&D trope where it's like, the players go in, they rush in, they go take out a castle, but you could make it even larger where they have to use the help of NPCs, and it could be like your whole military war campaign, which we've covered before.
Yep.
But so you have like a raid quest.
Yes.
Any other kind of quest besides fetch, escort, massive fighting?
Not really.
And those are kind of the most of them.
Like, you have your standard, like, kill quest of go kill X amount of things and come back. But
Right.
beyond that, it's...
And then you could have your assassination quest.
Yes.
You could have your... I mean, again, at that point, you start bringing in all the genre type of things, like the espionage or the other, the mysteries or whatever. But the point is, so how would we incorporate the idea of these, like, a side quest versus the idea of a main quest into my RPG?
One thing you could do, which would help,
Yeah.
is you could actually have a kind of like a bounty board in every single town, and they could kind of like how The Witcher had.
That'd be
Witcher
cool.
3. So then they can see and pick through and see what the rewards are.
Right. So you could have a thing where you could do a quick thing. There's a beast that's been killing my pigs. Can you please come investigate? And you find out it's something like a hippogriff, or it could be something bigger than that. It could be a bunch of kids just stealing stuff. And so you have the moral dilemma of, like, how do I, like, these kids are starving, that's why they're stealing the pigs, the town is the cause, what do we do about that?
Yes.
Or you could do, it's a monster, and so you gotta, like in Witcher-esque, you gotta go kill the monster.
Or drive it off, or something.
Yeah, right. Make it leave.
Yep.
Okay.
The other thing you could do instead of a bounty board is, as they're talking to NPCs in a town, you could have them mention, hey, my daughter's missing, could you guys go find them? So now it's a direct instead of being posted on a bounty.
Right, so then somebody's directly confronting the players.
Yes.
Like, you look like adventurers, which they would. I need your help. You could do the whole trope of, we're in a tavern, what rumors do we hear?
You could also have your side quests be more of like an inactive quest versus an active, so you're not directly giving them the hook by somebody requesting a job done.
Yeah.
So something like that would be like, as they're traveling on the road, they see like strange tracks, or they see like an overturned cart with some corpses.
Yes.
Something that would intrigue their interests.
Or they could come across a body in a cave. They take the body and they find a diary. The diary lists where that person was from. So eventually, when they get back to that town, they can say, hey, do you know who so-and-so is? And then they can go, oh, yeah, it was so-and-so. Yeah, he left a couple months ago. We haven't seen him.
You could also have like
and then you could start to try to track down his relatives.
You could also have like a hippogriff or a dragon flying off in the distance with somebody in their clutches screaming. That's a different inactive. That would be a good side.
Pretty quick, like somebody screaming in the forest type of a situation. Do you go check it out?
Yeah.
Better for your good or neutral characters than your evil characters, for instance.
The reason why you would want to do this is, especially in a D&D sense, a lot of D&D campaigns that you and I've at least played is oh, hey, you're going to go hit this dungeon. Right. And then the whole entire campaign is
this dungeon.
Is hitting this dungeon.
Yep.
Meanwhile, there's this whole entire world that is never visited.
To be fair, it is called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
But no, I know your point.
There's
and
other
I agree
dungeons.
With your point. I agree with your point. There's more than one dungeon. It is called Dungeons, right?
And dragons. There are multiple dragons probably in those dungeons.
But that's funny. But the point obviously here is to say, how do you mix things up?
Yes.
And just because I'm on a quest from a king or a noble to go save a kingdom or the world doesn't mean I'm not going to get caught up in people's everyday lives. Yeah. And, I come across a burned out village and there's a handful of survivors, and then you go get revenge on like this evil bandits. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. And the nice thing about looking at it from a MMORPG or just an RPG video game is these quests just kind of happen to you on your way. And then the players can choose to either ignore them or move forward. Mm-hmm. But the nice thing is it gives you a quick, easy out on a night to say, okay, well, as you're traveling through here, this is what happens. And also, it could cut down on this is like a month's travel from like this port to this port. Okay, well, let's just roll like 4 random encounters, and okay, well, now it's a month later.
Or you don't even deal with random encounters because you just, you got there unscathed.
Yeah, this could allow you to actually have a little bit more of a playthrough. So it's like, okay, well, and within the first week, as you guys are coming across this town, you start seeing smoke in the distance, and you hear some screaming. What do you guys want to do about that? And it looks like it's on your way, like it's not even that far off your path. And that now starts building into a thing like, we should go help those people, or we should go at least figure out what's going on, Mm-hmm. And now they're embroidered in something that lasts for a night. And then so if you had like, a month travel, but they had 4 kind of major adventures on the way, that at least gave the passage of time, at least made a little bit more sense and felt a little bit more real than just, well, I didn't roll any random encounters, or we just, there's a dragon flying at you. We hide. Okay, cool. Now you're there and we're done.
Yep.
So the idea of these little side encounters is actually to flesh out your world and give your players some sort of sense of responsibility in it. So with that, we'll see you next time.